Hey guys, hope you're all doing great. So let's do a Netflix data science question in this video. Okay, so the question is, and by the way, this is a Python pandas data science question asked by Netflix, right? Okay, so let's do it. So the question is, calculate the win-to-win nomination ratio for each nominee, output the ratio and nominee's name. Order the results based on the ratio in descending order to show nominees with highest ratio on top. So let me tell you how, first let me show you how the data looks like. Okay, so this is the nominees. Oh, I think we screwed something up. Alright, cool. So this is the data. So what they want us to do is, given this nominee, which in this case is let's say where's Al Pacino? Yeah, Al Pacino, right? My favorite actor of all time. So Al Pacino. So first we need to find out how many falses is Al Pacino having for this particular column. So basically grouped by this nominee name and then counting how many nominations Al Pacino had, right? And then we need to find out how many wins Al Pacino had, which is 1. So 7 nominations, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We don't have to include the one where he already won. This is not a nomination because he won, right? So 7 nominations and 1 win. And basically we need to divide 1 divided by 7. Yeah, because the wins, the number of wins is 1 and the number of nominations is 7. So 1 divided by 7, whatever that answer may be, we need to have that in front of Al Pacino. And similarly for all of the nominations, right? So this is what we need to do. Now, if you can picture this pretty quickly, this can be done by using a pivot table, right? So what does pivot table gonna do is it's gonna take the data and then it's gonna take an index, which in our case would be nominee, right? And then it's gonna take winner and it's gonna aggregate the values. It's gonna aggregate the values which are present in the winner and which are present in the loser basically. And it's gonna, and we are supplying the add function, basically aggregation function, as count. So within a couple of lines of code we can get this pivot table, and then based on that pivot table we can calculate our what our ratio would be, right? Which is the wins divided by wins plus losses, right? So this is using the pivot table. Now this is a short solution, right? Obviously this is a short solution, but in an interview setting, I don't think it's pretty easy to come up with, because in interviews it's always good to go from the basics, right? So let's comment this out. Let's take a really basic approach, right? So the basic approach, it's gonna be, we're gonna first calculate a new data frame, which is simply grouping by the nominee, and then we're gonna take the winner, and then we're gonna use a lambda basically apply function, and then we're gonna call helper method. What is helper method? Helper method is basically counting the number of trues in that particular column. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna group by this nominee column, and then we're gonna take this column, which is the winner column, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna count how many falses are in this column, and then we're gonna count how many trues are in this column. Reason is because we're trying to eliminate the pivot table, hence we're gonna get our values for the false and true using this thing over here, right? So if we comment if we remove the comment from the helper method, and similarly helper 2 method is we are counting the number of false in a particular grouped by data frame, right? Similarly, what we're doing is we're grouping by nominee, we're taking the winner and we're applying helper 2. What does helper 2 do? It basically counts the number of falses, right? So once we have these two data frames, we're going to join them, right, based on nominee. And what do we get after joining them is, look at this. So what we get is we get the wins, right? So the winner X is the number of wins and 7 is the number of nominations, exactly what we want, right? So now it's pretty straightforward. Now what we do is we calculate the ratio, which is the wins divided by wins plus losses, right? And then we basically sort the values in a descending order by this ratio, right? So this is what we see. So I haven't heard about these actors or actresses, but yeah, Reese Witherspoon has a ratio 1, and Rachel Weisz is a pretty famous actress. Yeah, Halle Berry. Yeah, so good. So that's it. So so in order to conclude things, this is a pretty long solution as compared to the pivot table one, but this is easier to come up with, and in an interview setting, this is gonna explain your thought process in a better way. So that's why I chose this. And yeah, so anyway, that's it for this video. Comment on this video, like this video, tell me which other questions you'd like me to solve, and good luck on your data science interviews journey. Bye bye, take care.